you're forgoing 65 to 100 billion pesos.
Kaya lumalaki yung hindi nila nasisingil.
Panahon na para magpakita ang gilas yung PhilHealth.
Ang pinag-uusapan pa lang natin is indirect members. Malaki po ang natatanggap natin sa direct members. Tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kasi ang direct members consists of salaried workers from both private and the government. Tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kasama din ang OFWs.
Including the self-employed,
Self-employed,
self-paying.
self-paying, etc. Magkano po ang kinolekta ninyo noong taong 2023?
Mr. Chair, for 2023, from direct contribution, actual cash received for the premium contribution amounting to 147 billion.
100.
Mr. Chair.
147. That's 2023.
Yes po.
For 2024 to date, magkano na?
September amounting to 142.6.
Okay. Ano ang collection efficiency natin? Is it, masasabi ba natin na 100%? Kasi mandatory ang PhilHealth sa contribution sa salaried workers. Tama po? Mandatory naman yan, di ba?
Mandatory, Mr. Chair, pero wala
Yes,
naman po
so
akong
is it
data sa collection
100% po ba ang collection efficiency natin?
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, for a while check natin sa core plan, but I don't think that we can hit that 100%, Mr. Chair.
Why not?
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, of course may mga employers pa na of course may mga delay sa pagbayad, pero again, let's check the record from the core plan, Mr.
Tama
Chair.
po ba na ito ang collection efficiency ninyo? Sa private sector, ang nag-remit ay 85%, sa government 91%, sa self-employed 32%, sa OFWs only 7%. Tama po ba na ito ang inyong collection efficiency? Ito po ay as of October 2024.
Mr. Chair, we're trying to check on the data. Can we provide it na lang to follow,
Yeah,
ma'am?
but more or less, you agree with me that you are not collecting from many individuals that you need to collect from.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Have you computed the foregone premium contributions? How much premiums are you losing as a result of less than optimal collection effort? Because I did back of the envelope estimates on the basis of these numbers, you're forgoing 65 to 100 billion pesos. So ganun po kalaki ang nawawala natin pera, siguro dahil anyway, nakahiga kayo sa sobrang daming pera at ini-invest ninyo sa safe instruments na dating lang ng dating ang income, kinalimutan nyo na po kumolekta sa mga mandated sectors. At ang ginagawa nyo na lang po is pinapressure ninyo ang Congress na mag-appropriate sa inyo by, for example, in the past, lagi ninyong sinasabi every time you come to Congress na mamamatay na ang pondo ng PhilHealth. That was a common na litanya po yan, Mr. Chair. So, last point na lang po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, pwede pong
With the indulgence of Congresswoman Estela, Chair would like to recognize Congressman Romy Acop.
yung po bang hindi nyo nasisingil considered as receivables ninyo? Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, in 2022, your accumulated receivables from your direct contributors, from the NGAs, LGUs, accrued interest received from investment at saka other receivables, 61.2 billion. That was in 2022. Now, in 2023, it increased to 105.67 billion. Yun po ang status ng kanilang receivables as of 2023. Kaya lumalaki yung hindi nila nasisingil.
Mr. Chair, I think iba pa nga yun eh. Yung hindi ninyo nakokolektahan na registered members, are they booked as receivables? Or are they booked as receivables? Because if yes, yun yung sinasabi ni Kong Acop. But if not, iba pa yon. Tama ba, Mr. Limsiaco?
Mr. Chair, our receivables as reflected in the FS are also estimates na makokolektahan natin. Of course, yung mga hindi natin expected na makolekta, hindi siya papasok. And kasama po dyan sa ating receivable pati ay from national government. Kaya malaki ang figure po niya.
So ang sinasabi ninyo, Mr. Chair, na yung receivables from national government ay pasok doon sa sinasabi ni Kong Acop. Tama?
Mr. Chair, as reflected in our FS, kasama po siya as part of the receivable po.
Pero yung sinasabi ko, na hindi ninyo kinokolekta, halimbawa sa mga, let's say, workers na dapat magbayad dahil mandated sila under the law, hindi yun kasama sa receivables.
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, may portion na kasama because ito yung mga employers talaga na makikita natin na hindi nag-miss lang ng contribution. And then employers talaga na hindi pa natin na-reach out ng ating mga tao, hindi pa yung makakasama as part of the receivable, Mr. Chair.
So, Mr. Chair, can we request PhilHealth to submit to us a report on collection and paki-separate yung dalawang category na yan at i-estimate ninyo kung magkano ang losses as a result of these two categories.
Yes,
And
Miss.
Yes. And as a final question, Mr. Chair.
Sorry,
kanina
ma'am.
po-
Yes, we will comply and submit a separate report, ma'am, on that.
As a final note, Mr. Chair, kanina po, klaro naman po na ang dami-daming pondo ng PhilHealth. 709 billion ang aking estimate, more or less. Ang dami po talaga. At kitang-kita naman natin, even based on current practice na nade-delay ng bonggang-bongga ang pagbayad, ang pag-remit ng national government doon po sa premium subsidies, kayang-kaya talaga itawid ng PhilHealth ang sitwasyon ngayon or for next year na 2025 na zero subsidy para sa ating 4P, seniors, PWDs, etc. So, pero kanina, pinag-usapan natin, kung hindi kayo or nag-expand kayo ng benefits, pero marami pa rin talagang excess funds. So, meron tayong scope to reduce contributions. Sinabi ko sa inyo, lagi ko tong sinasabi, nananawagan talaga ako matagal na. At sinabi po ninyo, hindi ninyo matandaan na ni-reject ninyo ang aking call. Ito po, you wrote to me officially noong September 13, 2023, stating your reasons for why you reject that proposal. So ito po, I'll just read the first sentence. After taking into consideration the nature of social health insurance and the existing provisions of the PhilHealth laws and the Universal Healthcare Act, it is of considered opinion that the proposed suspension of PhilHealth premium payment would not be in accordance with Section 10 of the UHC Act, prescribing premium rates for years 2019 to 2025. The suspension would also adversely affect the implementation of the NHIP, etc. So you assailed it for its legality. I can send you a copy of the letter that you yourself sent to me just to remind you that you rejected this proposal. So, pero ang sinasabi ko, Mr. Chair, kailangan balikan itong proposal dahil ang dami talaga ang pondo. Kasi kahit po sabihin natin na may zero subsidy situation, kaya pa talaga na hindi siguro kumolekta sa salaried workers kasi 140 billion lang naman po ang kinokolekta sa salaried workers. Eh kung 709 ang excess funds, gusto kong tanungin as a final question kay Dr. Albert Domingo from DOH. Sa tingin nyo ba, kung sabihin natin, okay, ano kaya magiging epekto kung magkaroon muna ng moratorium? Total may mga panawagan according to Kong Wilbert na hintayin muna natin, bakit yung mga ibang naghuhulog? Bakit hindi naman sila bigyan ng free pass? Hanggat makita natin na talagang ang PhilHealth ay sincero sa kanilang efforts na pagandahin ang kanilang benefit expansion, etc. Anyway, alam natin, with 700 billion in funds, kayang-kaya talaga nilang to at the very least support one-year operations. I'd like to hear from Dr. Domingo. Anyway, may sinasabi siya, at any point in time, kung talagang kailangan or ma-prove ng PhilHealth ang kanilang kakayahan, pwede naman kung hindi supplementary budget, pwede naman natin sabihin na you can now begin collecting premiums.
Mr. Chair.
Dr. Domingo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo. Sa tingin po namin, yun kasing nakalagay sa Section 11, kapag sumobra nga yung reserba, and I quote, "The excess of the PhilHealth Reserve Fund shall be used to increase the program's benefits and to decrease the amount of members' contributions." Hindi po sinabing contribution rate. Yung nakalagay po sa Section 10 na agree po kami sa management na hindi pwedeng galawin kasi lehislatura lamang ang pwede magbago is yung contribution rate. Ang nakalagay po sa Section 10, and I quote, "For direct contributors, premium rates shall be in accordance with the following." So inaantay lang po alinsunod sa batas na attached agency ang PhilHealth kung ipropose po ng management sa board yung mekanismo para yung bayad, hindi yung rate, yung bayad o diskwento ay mapatupad. Aantayin po namin yung proposal na yun kasi sila po yung may hawak kung ilan yung membership, ano yung magiging collection or mga diskwento na gagawin. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Pero moratorium ang sinasabi natin, so hindi naman rates, kung hindi yung mismong, why not perhaps suspend collecting at the current rates? Yun ang tanong natin. Do you think that might work in the current situation na napakaraming funds and in a situation na gusto nating pilitin ang PhilHealth to actually do a better job? Or baka naman, ano ba, susukuan na ba natin ang PhilHealth? Ano ba? Or sasabihin ba natin na kailangan ba talagang baguhin ang paraan ng pag-implement ng programa? Anong naiisip ng DOH dito?
Salamat po, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo. Yun po yung sinasabi nga namin in public at sasabihin na rin po namin sa body na ito na panahon na para magpakita ang gilas yung PhilHealth. Kasi kailangan makumbinse ang ating lehislatura na ano man yung paraan, kung subsidiya man or dagdag na budget, kasi meron pa yung PCSO tulad nung napag-usapan kanina. Ito na yung paraan para mapakita na yung sa English absorptive capacity, sa Tagalog yung kakayahang gumastos, na hindi lang basta inanunsyo na may dagdag. Salamat po kay Honorable Lino na pinunto niya nga niya, puro anunsyo pero hindi bumababa kasi yung anunsyo hanggang sa board yun eh. hindi naman kami yung magpipirma ng cheque para lumabas yung pera. So yung paraan para ma-print yung cheque at lahat ng kailangan mangyari para lumabas yun at mapirmahan at lumipat na dun sa mga ospital, yun po yung kailangan magpakitang gilas na, lalo na sa darating na taon na ito.